So today we're going to do something real different for that Parkinson's brain. Normally when you want to move with your Parkinson's brain, you have the eye seeing something, telling the brain, I wish to move, I wish to do this thing, for an end result. You know, walk across the floor or reach for an object. Today we're going to use your eyes and your brain, and we're going to have an end result, but we're actually not aiming for the end result. We're aiming just to use our eyes and our brain a little differently. And I'd like to say what we're going to do is stretch our Parkinson's brain here by making your own personal Picasso. Now, what you're going to need is a tea towel or some sort of towel and some paper and probably a little Sharpie pen or something that isn't going to skip. A pencil probably won't do. You're going to need a pen or a felt tip pen and an object of interest. I've got a mixer here. Sometimes shoes work really well for this. Toys, maybe a power saw. That would be a real good one. Things that have interesting lines. What we're going to do is take our eyes, and we're going to take our eyes and look around every line that we can possibly see in this tool or object that's on the desk in front of us here. And I'm kind of pointing out, we've got the outside edges of things. We have lines that run across here. As you come down here, there's actually two lines, the outside line, the inside line. And then there's a lot of lines as you go around with the beaters. You can take a look at, even the power cord is different. There's a line in the center of the power cord. There's the lines on the outside of the power cord. The plugs are always a lot of fun too. You have kind of a square on this end, but there's actually a second line on the other side of that plug. It's, maybe 1/16 of an inch thick, but that makes two lines, this side and this side, and then of course there's the little tines that go in, some twists in the cord, and the overall shape of this, and the insides of the handles, and so forth. You can see lines in whatever it is that you have chosen. What I'd like you to do is take this, and you're going to cover your hand and the paper, because we aren't worried about the end result. What we're worried about is just starting to draw this by what I'm doing here. I've got my hand under here, and I'm going to start right here, put my pen down, and I'm going to follow this line, and then I see this line coming across, and then I'm going to continue this line. I have to lift up and bring it across here, and I can see this little kind of a tab on here, and so I'm going to draw that tab, and then as I work my way down, I can see this, and I can see the outside of it, and I can see it curls around again, and the whole thing, lifting my pen, the whole thing I can see comes around and it ties together, and it comes down this line, and as my eye is seeing this, I'm just following it with my hand. So I'm going to draw a few of these lines. There's a top line here, and then a little bottom line, and a top line, and a bottom line, and a top line, and a bottom line, and then there's one more down here, and it's not quite as big. I'll try and make that not quite as big. I think you can see what's happening here. As I'm continuing, I'm lifting my pen and dropping it back down, and I'm causing my eye to see as opposed to worrying about my hand doing the action. The hand is doing it. We have to do something with the hand. Now I'm going to go back up and around because I didn't actually do the top, but I remember I drew all the way up to here, so I'm lifting my pen as I get up to here. Then I'm going to go down because here's this beater, and I'm going to do one side of the beater and the other side of the beater, and now I've got 4 beater things, and each one of those has a line, so I'm going to double each line of that beater as my eye goes around it. Now I want you to really think about looking at that object every time that you draw a line. I want you to feel your eye going down, because when you feel your eye stretching and doing something different, your brain is creating a new synapse. And you're seeing things differently for the first time. I'm working on a black box, and that way if I happen to go off the white paper onto the box with my pen, I don't have any accidents here. So you might want to get a bigger piece of paper underneath. I'm going to work a little bit just right here on this cord. I have no idea, because I can't see my hand, of course, where this cord comes out. But I'm pretending like I know where that is. And it has a second line in the center. I'm doing this left-handed with the red object here with the red pen. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to try and kind of make little squiggles for this. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to make that part, and then I'm going to come around here, each time lifting my pen and then setting it back down, and around this little square thing, and twice, because I have this side of it and this side of it, and then I have the little pieces of electric, what are those things called where you stick it in? And each one of those has a little hole in it. I'm not going to finish because I want you to be able to see this and start your very own personal Picasso. But here is the Sherryl interpretation of the electric mixer. And again, like I said, your final thing that you're doing here is not actually what you're after. It's just between the eye and the brain. The hand is secondary as opposed to moving from freezing. I hope you have fun with this one, and I'll update that Facebook post just so that you can have it if you want to go ahead and maybe make a copy of it. Join me on Facebook anytime, and you're always welcome to send me questions.